Now, the two monitors that I have at the back, and you've seen in a lot of my videos, both of these are the R270i Pros from Supersolid. Now, both of them are really good monitors, 2K resolution, and I've been very happy with them for the 2+ years that I've been using them. Now, the only setback I have with these monitors is the fact that the stands are solid and standard. You can't really do anything else to them other than tilt the monitor up and down. Now, the last couple of weeks, I've been testing out two new monitors from Supersolid. I've been testing out the P24 Pro and the P27 Pro. Now, these two monitors are probably one of the first monitors right now within the budget category that have fully adjustable stands. Now, is that the only party trick it has? And is the panel any good? Let's find out. Now, just from the name of these monitors, I think you can sort of figure out that the P24 Pro has a 24-inch panel and the P27 Pro has a 27-inch panel. Now, before we talk about what sets these two monitors apart, let's talk about what similarities they have. Now, both of these models are using an IPS panel. They both have a really quick response time of just 1 millisecond, okay, and they both have very similar IOs. They both come with one DisplayPort 1.2, two HDMI 1.4s and a single HDMI 2.0. Now, they both have audio jacks at the back of the monitor, but do note that both these monitors do not have built-in speakers, which is fine by me. I mean, every monitor that I review on this channel, and I've reviewed quite a few, almost all of them have had built-in speakers, but I never even bother to talk about them because they're not going to be very good. If you're going to buy this monitor, don't buy it for its good speakers, all right? Even the cheaper speakers that you can buy outside will probably be better than anything that would build on any gaming monitor. Now, they both also have really cool red lining at the back of the monitor. Although do note, when you turn on the monitor, you might not see the light. It turns on once it detects a source. And of course, in terms of design, they're both identical. Only difference is that the P24 Pro has some red accents on it, whereas the P27 Pro is pretty much all black. And of course, the other similarity is that both of these monitors have fully adjustable stands. Now, why am I so excited about this? Now, like I said, I've had these two monitors for about 2 years now. And for a long time, I realized that I have back pains and I used to get fatigued quite easily. Now, I realized that one of the reasons for that is actually because the monitor is too low for my line of sight. So, if you're wondering how high your monitor should be, basically the center of the screen should be just about eye level or just about lower. So with both these monitors, you actually get full articulation. Of course, you can raise the monitor up and down, you can swivel it left and right, and you can tilt it up and down. Now, some of you might be saying, hey, why don't you just put something at the bottom to raise the whole monitor up? And yeah, you're right, but I mean, come on, if you look at my gaming setup, and I'm not the only one, you spend quite a lot of money to get the aesthetics of it right. You don't want to ruin it by having books or something else under the monitor. And another thing, of course, is I can always buy with monitor arms, and there are quite a few good ones, but that's added cost, and the really good ones are not that cheap. So if you want to calculate all that money, you might as well buy a more expensive monitor. So having fully adjustable stands where you can raise the monitor up or tilt it, however, just to get the right angle for you is actually invaluable. And also, you can actually tilt the whole monitor so that it becomes a portrait monitor. And that's actually really good because then it elevates this monitor to more than just a gaming monitor. And there are a lot of good scenarios for it. I mean, like even if you work in the office, and like, for example, if you have a lot of documents that you edit, even like Word documents, to have it portrait where you can edit on the go without having to keep scrolling up and down, it makes things a lot easier for you. Even things like Excel sheets, I let my wife use the monitor and she was so happy with it. So now let's talk about what sets these two monitors apart. Now, first of all, like I said, they both have an IPS panel, but the refresh rate of these panels are slightly different. Now, the P27 Pro has a refresh rate of 144 Hz. However, the P24 Pro has a refresh rate that goes up all the way to 165 Hz. Now, another thing is also the peak brightness, alright? So the P24 Pro has a peak brightness of 250 nits, whereas the P27 Pro has a peak brightness of 400 nits. Now, of course, one of the most important things about this is how do these monitors perform? Now, of course, I'm going to put them through all sorts of gaming. And okay, before we talk about the gaming and before you see some of the B-roll of me playing games on this monitor, I just want to give the same disclaimer that I gave with the Sharp AK TV, is that I shoot at 24 frames, alright? And these monitors go up to 165 and 144 Hz respectively. So if you're looking and you realize that why does it not look so smooth, it's because of my camera, alright? But trust me when I say playing games on these monitors are absolutely fantastic. Especially for me, I like the P27 Pro because of the better peak brightness. I find that it also kind of gives me the impression of a better contrast ratio. Games like playing Battlefield 5, even Shadow the Tomb Raider, it looked absolutely fantastic. But like I said, the P24 Pro goes all the way up to 165 Hz. Now, I used to think that, you know, the difference from 144 to 165 is not going to be much of a difference, but actually I was surprised that kind of was. You could tell that it was a bit more buttery smooth. And honestly, when you're playing games between the P27 and the P24 Pro, there is a slight difference, but honestly, if you just had the P24 Pro, you would be extremely happy with it. Now, for many years, I've always had a lot of my friends ask me the same question, like, what's a good gaming monitor to buy? And for those who ask me specifically about full HD gaming monitors, I always say one thing, and I always say, don't get anything more than 24 inches. And that was my advice because I always found that any monitor or full HD monitor above 24 inches, the pixels were a bit more obvious. And so like 27 inch, I usually say, nah, don't bother. If you want to get 27 inch, go 2K or higher. However, I may just have to eat my own words because this 27 inch monitor, and I don't know how they did it, it is probably the sharpest full HD monitor that I've seen at 27 inches. To the point that when I first turned it on and I saw it, I was like, hey, wait a minute. I had to go and check the resolution in Windows. But yeah, it's full HD. Now, what about for those of you who don't just game on your computer? If you're like me and you watch a lot of shows on your computer, no issues there as well. Both of them are really good. However, I was sort of leaning towards the P27 Pro for this because of its higher peak brightness. Like I said, it gives the impression of a better contrast ratio, at least in my mind. And of course, watching shows, just a bigger screen usually is better. Okay, so let's talk about the price. Now, the P24 Pro comes in at about 319 Singapore dollars, and the P27 Pro comes in at about 399 Singapore dollars. So yeah, definitely still within the budget category, even though it's got all these new features with the adjustable stand. Right now, both of these are looking excellent value. Now, of course, this is the part where I talk about things that I don't like about the monitor. And honestly, I can't think of any fault with the monitor. One thing I would say, and it's more of an advice than a fault, is if you do intend to use this monitor in portrait, just make sure that you rotate it the right way. Now, the way the I/O ports are located and designed, your cables will stick out at the back of the monitor and not pointing down. So make sure that you rotate them the right way, because if you rotate it to in such a way that the cables are underneath, it will actually hit the back of the stand. So I would say rotate it in such a way that the cables are actually on top. And the other thing is for the P27 Pro, because it's so big, if you rotate the monitor while it's flat, you actually can't because it will hit the base of the stand. So, but very simple. All you have to do is just tilt the monitor upwards before you rotate it and job done. Now, both of these are not faults. It's more of a limitation. So other than that, I don't really have an issue. Now, honestly, these two monitors to me are groundbreaking. One of the reasons, of course, is the fact that you have a fully adjustable stand. For many years, monitors in that budget category never had that. So that's fantastic because it costs quite a fair bit to make monitors with that adjustable stand. And like I said, there's more to it than just being adjustable. There's a wellness thing to it as well. Always make sure that you have it at the right height to prevent your back aches, to prevent eye fatigue and all that. So the fact that you have this and you're not spending more money, yeah, to me it's groundbreaking. And the thing is, they didn't compromise on the panel. I actually find these panels, in terms of that budget, or even not even budget, something even a higher tier, they are really good IPS panels. They are really sharp. You've got a good high refresh rate. I didn't get issues with like flickering when you turn on AMD FreeSync, which it has, by the way. And yes, if you saw the thumbnail, you realize that there is a discount that Supersolid is very kindly giving out to you guys. Now, it varies between the two models. So if you get the P24 Pro, which goes for 319 Singapore dollars, Supersolid is offering an additional $20 off, right, which is not bad. And the P27 Pro, which is 399 Singapore dollars, they are offering $40 off the price. So at 359 for the P27 and I think 299 for the P24 Pro, they are absolute steals. Now, getting these discounts are a bit different. They're not promo codes. You actually need to purchase them on Lazada and use the vouchers that you can get from the links that I will put down in the description below. Yeah, but honestly, I've been so impressed with both of these monitors that they are both going to get a 5 out of 5 and of course a Technobabble recommended logo. So that about wraps up my review of the P24 Pro and the P27 Pro. Now, if you like this video, you know what to do, and I would love it if you would subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to receive notifications on our next video. I'm JP, and I'll see you real soon.